What's going on, everyone? It's my back again, bit cold. Everton have just lost 2-0 to Spurs. A game that, it's turgid, ain't it? Like, it's watching awful football. And that, I'm not blaming Lampard for that, and I'm not even going to start going the whole Lampard out and all of this stuff. I'm just saying the football's poor, and there is a reason for that. Defensively, we're fairly solid. Attacking-wise, we're blunt. We are absolutely blunt. McNeil, Gray run down blind alleys and do nothing. Then you've got McNeil, who, still to this day, I don't understand why we've signed him. He literally, in the last 2 games I've watched Malpay, he has done nothing. Nothing. Not won a ball, not won a tackle. I don't think I've actually seen him do anything at all constructive. I made a joke and said that Rondon offers more, because at least he offers a bit of physicality, because Malpay doesn't. I don't know what he brings to this team, but the whole attack is poor. The whole attack, you can see this is an attack made up of players that were sort of just bang average, and that's the problem. Everton have got a decent defence. Coleman at times weren't great today. He got subbed off. Mikalenko's all right, but he gets overexposed. And it happened a couple of times. The second goal was a joke, and we'll go into that in a minute. But how nobody follows the run around Mikalenko from Bentancur is actually a joke. Like how Onana or Ghana or Iwobi hasn't followed that run is shambolic. But Everton did have chances in the first half. They did have chances again. It's them balls over the top. Ball over the top. Gray sort of gets the right side of Davis, I think it is. He turns him, he gets into the box and he skies it over the bar. It's a great touch and a terrible finish. And that is Demarai Gray. Moments of brilliance and lots of moments of poorness. And that's but we know that's what we had at Leicester. Everton were all right in the second half. You could argue that Everton probably should have been in front. Kane did have a chance after 5 minutes, and there was a couple of moments where they did get into the box, but all in all, we were defensively solid and resolute and strong. Richarlison offered very little, had a header that went over the bar, didn't really cause problems. Son did very little. Kane, we kept quiet. And we were much, much better. We were much, much better than we was against Manchester United a week ago. The second half, it was just all change. And there was almost a moment, really. Richarlison got injured with, I think it was his calf or his thigh. And he goes off, and Conte's really clever. He brings on Basuma, which is a similar setup to how they played Brighton last week. And it just meant they dominated midfield. And that fundamentally stopped Everton, essentially. That did everything that they needed to get a result. Harry Kane started dropping deep, causing problems, playing those little passes that we know that he does. There is no doubting his talent, but he is infuriating as well, because the ball gets hit from outside the box. I think it's Doherty. It might have been, I can't remember. Smashes the ball. Pickford, he doesn't hold on to the ball. It bounces off him, and it drops to Harry Kane, who sort of goes over. Now, I've watched it on replays loads. And I can't tell you if it's a penalty. He definitely dives a little bit. He does. He definitely dives a little bit. But Pickford's head, not his arms, his head looks like it connects with his thigh as he's stepping through. And as soon as he feels that contact, he goes down. So, by letter of the law, is that a penalty? I don't know. Either way, you know it when it's Tierney, the referee, it's Everton. they're going to give it. And they did. They give it. He slots it home. Pickford goes the right way, makes it 1-0. And at that point, Everton had to attack. And they didn't. They didn't because they haven't got the quality to do it. James Garner comes on, looks neat and tidy, but he's not necessarily a number 10 or a goal scorer in the Premier League. Certainly not yet. I mean, I don't actually know what his best position is. Iwobi, again, I felt a bit sorry for Iwobi today. Again, Garner I thought was all right. Anana was all right. But it's the front three. The front three was shocking. And when you throw in Gordon into that from last week, I don't know where the goals come from. You know, we know Calvert-Lewin's got a goal in him, but we've got to get the ball to him. And, you know, the deliveries today were poor. The moments where Everton could have created a chance was poor. The running down blind alleys was poor. You know, there's loads of times where, you know, I wasn't fortunate to get a ticket today, but there was loads of times where Damari Gray or McNeil run down the side and you're just thinking, just hit an early cross. Just hit an early cross, you know, while Tottenham aren't in position, while Everton are getting a few numbers into the box. Just hit that cross early. They don't. They take a step back. They do a pirouette. They pass it back to Mikalenko. Mikalenko goes across the back for them and that opportunity's gone. And it's time and time again. It's poor. It's poor. And I don't sit here and blame Frank Lampard for that. He's sort of playing with a hand that he's been dealt. Yes. He signed McNeil and Maupay, and that, in my opinion, they're both massive wastes of money. They are. They just are. I just do not see how Everton get better with those two in the team. However, we're 10 games in. We're still 12th, 13th in the league. I'm not worried about us going down. We've just played 2 difficult fixtures, and I've said this, and I will continue to say this. When you are telling me that Everton are losing to Manchester United at home, losing to Spurs away, losing to Aston Villa away, losing to Chelsea at home, I can't necessarily argue with all of those results because as frustrating as it is, all 4 of those teams as a squad is better than where Everton are. They're more complete. Yes, Villa have got their problems, but you'd argue they've got more firepower than we have. Albeit, I don't think they've scored the same level as goals that we have or whatever. But, you know, at home they've got that. They've got that bit of quality. My issue is the games where you're at home and you don't win. You know, for example, Forest, that's a game that Everton should have won. And we played really poor. So there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work, and this has all got to be addressed in January. Like, it has to be addressed in January. We have to bring in 2 attackers who can ball carry, deliver goals, and cross the ball. That's what we need, because McNeil don't do it. Gordon loves a blind alley. Gray loves a blind alley. And nobody's getting the ball to Calvert-Lewin, who equally has his injury issues. You know, and while we're sitting here and we're saying things like, you know, Maupay's come in and he'll score 8 or 9 goals, he doesn't look like it. He absolutely doesn't look like he's going to score anywhere near what he scored for Brighton last season. He looks championship. And that's just me being honest. That's my honest opinion. I hope he proves me wrong. I hope he goes on this run of scoring goals and getting in positions and finding his first touch and being on the turn like we saw against, I think it was Southampton, he got his goal. You know, I want to see more of that. But at the minute, he's having to come short. He's not winning the ball because he's not physical enough. His touch isn't great. He's got no pace. So I don't know what he's doing at the front of the park. And the one thing I can say is at least Rondon can hold the ball. I don't rate him, and I don't think he's a better player. But when we are literally back to bare bones, I don't know what option we've got, unless you're going to start Calvert-Lewin from the start, and Lampard's already made it abundantly obvious that he's not. Positive is, you know, the other night he got 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Tonight he got 30 minutes, 35 minutes. So he's getting more minutes. But unless we've got a player that can put the ball in that area and cause problems, we ain't scoring lots of goals this season. And that is going to be detrimentally dangerous, because although we don't concede loads of goals, Tonight is the first time that Everton have lost by 2 clear goals this season. And we, apart from them 2 chances where Anana's through and sticks it over the bar, and Gray, there wasn't a single effort on goal that I can really shout home about. So, yeah, poor. And the second goal for Spurs, I mean, that is defensively horrendous. So, Kane mistouches the ball, still manages to have the legs to get past Mykolenko. Criticism of Mykolenko, he should be reading that better, but he doesn't. Kane has enough time to wait for Bentancur to make that run, which we can all see, by the way. Like, we literally could all see it, and not a single midfielder steps over to follow him. Not a single one. Not even McNeil, who's standing just in front of him. Nana, sorry. Neither of them two, I think, are the closest. Go anywhere near him. He runs round. He gets the ball into the box where there is nobody marking Højbjerg on the edge of the 18-yard box. Iwobi tries to make himself big because he has to run across from right back, because I don't know where Cody and Tarkowski are at this point. I don't know where they are, but they're not there. He has to step across, and it's a really good finish by Højbjerg. Makes it 2-0. But even at 1-0, Everton didn't look like they were going to be in the game. Everton did not look like they were in the game at all. And it was similar against Manchester United, but at least we had 10 minutes. There today at Spurs, our opportunities were in the first half. And what is abundantly obvious with Everton is if you do not take one of these opportunities that you create, you're probably not going to score, which is obvious. But you might concede one. And if you concede one, you can't really pull it back. And that is a frustration. We've got another tough game coming up. Another tough one. We've just got to get better. We've just got to get better. We've got to. The defence doesn't worry me. We conceded goals to Manchester United and Tottenham, who arguably are going to be in the top 4 this season, and playing Champions League football, who have got millions spent on their firepower. So you can't sit there and crucify a team for that. But attacking wise, we are far off it. Like, far off it. And we've got to find a way of just getting enough goals to January, because we've got to bring in creative players in January. We have to. Because if we don't, and if this defence does start to weaken, we could find ourselves in trouble again. And I'm not worrying. I don't think we're going to be in a relegation battle. I'm not saying that. But I think we've got to prepare properly. So January has got to be a good window. It's got to be a try and invest in the right areas. Now, I don't know if there's money available or not. I don't know what the financial fair play position is. But what I can tell you is we need it. We absolutely need it. We need a Kudus type player, one of these central midfielders who can score a goal, carry a ball, and create more problems. Iwobi's done it fairly well all season, but he's been asked now to play deeper. And when he's asked to play deeper, you don't get the benefit of his other options, his other abilities. So that's costing him. And the front 3 and 4 are pants. They're pants. They're terrible. So, yeah, look, I'm leaving it there. I haven't got an Everton man of the match. I haven't got one. So I thought we were terrible, really. Apart from maybe 25 minutes of the first half, I thought we were pretty turgid. And the football's crap. I mean, it's terrible to watch. It really is boring. But sometimes needs must. So we'll see. Guys, look, I'm leaving it there. Keep smiling. We roll on to midweek. Peace.